Hello everyone, this is Maurice from the Triple M Model Railroad. As you can see here, we actually have something a little different this time. And we have our guest, Thomas the Train. And what we're doing here is actually doing a decoder install, a DCC decoder install, matter of fact. And the decoder is by NCE. And the decoder is actually the N14SR. And this decoder is actually from Willis Hobbies. Willis Hobby does decoder installs. And this is what I'm doing for them. A decoder install for one of their clients. And the client doesn't want any sound, doesn't want lights. He just wants the, DCC function. Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this client, wants to run this on a club layout. Have his son run this on a club layout and be able to run it. So this is what we are actually going to give to the client. So let's get to it. All right, I started taking the model apart. As you can see, I taken off the roof of the locomotive, and you can see the circuit board here where the track power and the motor power is connected. I gotta take, basically I decided I'm going to take this model totally apart because actually I want to desolder the wires for the track power and the motor and solder the wires on this decoder directly to them. So this whole board, this little board's going to come out. We don't need that anymore. And this decoder is going to supply the track power and the motor power, or the control of it, more or less. So again, this requires the model to be totally taken apart. Let's see, I have to take some screws out. There's 3 screws. Already took 1 out in the front, 2 in the back, and to get the mechanism out, I believe you have to take the there's another pair, another 3 screws behind it. Take that off, and then I can go to work and desolder the wires and resolder to this decoder. So that's up next. Okay, so I have the model disassembled. Poor Thomas. And there are all the connections here. And I just got to be a little careful when I desolder. What you see here is the orange and the gray wire. That's the that's for the power for the motor. And as you can see, it has a resistor. Either resistor or capacitor that's in between there, so I just have to be careful. I don't want to take that off by accident. And also you can see the red and the black wires. That's for the track power. So that should be pretty easy to actually do. Now the NCE does have, for the motor control, actually have the same colored wires, except they are in reverse. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe the gray wire is actually the power, and the orange is the negative. So it's actually in reverse. And it's wired in reverse with, whatever you know, where you want it. You can see here, you know, the positive and the negative. The positive is the gray, and the negative is the orange. So that's how Bachmann have, you know, soldered to the board. So but NCE is just reverse. It's the other way around. All right, so that should work out fine. Yeah, and one thing that gets me is the eyeballs. This is so funny. It's kind of spooky, but hey, kids love it. So, okay, so let me get started, and I'll be right back. Now I have soldered the motor wires onto the decoder, as well as the tabs for the power from the tracks, and they all soldered onto the decoder. Now what I'm going to do here is that you can see actually a white wire, a violet wire, and a yellow wire. Now these wires are for the lights, and some people, they will just cut these wires off, but I'm going to leave these on in the event that you never know, the client may want to decide to put lights on this model. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clip the, as you can see, the tin edges of the wire. I'm going to clip them off, you know, so it doesn't short when you apply power to it. I'm going to put some telecom tape around the decoder to also, you know, to protect the decoder as well. And then I'm going to reassemble Mr. Thomas. And then we're going to test and see how this works. All right. So we have Thomas on the track. And as you can see, I can focus, isolated or, you know, taped up the ends of the wire. And I clipped the tin part off the wires, and I also wrap this decoder with telecom tape as well, and so there should be no shorts when I reassemble the model. So how does it work? So I have my lock programmer up and ready to go, and let's see what happens. All right, this is speed step 3. And it works. And it works fine. I'm bringing up 12, 15 speed steps. Let's see the eyes move. I'm going to see the eyes move. That is funny. Oh, that is funny. That is pretty funny. Okay, so I'm going to assemble the model, finish assembling it, and then we give it its final run. Okay, now let's see how she runs. Let's see how Thomas runs now. I'll set this to forward. Okay, now reverse. Forward again. All right. This project is complete. I smoothed everything out when it comes to the decoder programming. The programming is set, the engine is set to 1 as the address. As you can see, is number 1. Thomas is number 1, so we set the address to number 1, and we did some adjustments to the motor control to get it to smooth out better, and I think I nailed it. So this is the installation of the NCE N14SR decoder, and I thank Willis Hobbies for letting me do the install for them. And everyone, take care and be safe out there. Peace.